What up, everybody? This is just Saucin. I am your host, Jack Burns, and back in action. Your boy MC in the building, baby. How we doing?
What's good, Sauce? Good to finally be back on. Tried to get a podcast out there for you guys while Sauce was laying down some parlays in Vegas, but it's a little too X-rated. So sorry to all the fans that wanted that, but good to be back. Thanks for having me back, Sauce.
Yeah, dude. Of course. Don't get me wrong. It was a good laugh, but yeah, X-rated is a good way to put it. And back, I mean, McKinnon. I mean, at this point, you gotta know what name's coming out of my mouth, baby. Ryan McKinnon. How we doing?
I'm doing awesome. Just like always. Thanks for having me, dude. Always a pleasure.
Of course, man. Of course. So let's just get right on into it. McHugh, can you start us off with the Minnesota meltdown as many reporters with the Just Saucin crew are calling it?
I would love to. Thank you.
Minnesota meltdown.
The Minnesota meltdown. The Minnesota debacle.
Oh,
I really hate both of these guys, Sauce. Especially Slow-Mo. I mean, I watched him on the Grizzlies in the playoffs last year. Just some absolutely inexcusable, despicable performances lost in the game. He's getting his shot. You watch the guy move, and his shot form is so like. There's a reason they call him fucking Slow-Mo. Okay, and then Gobert, like fucking croissant loving, snail eating douchebag. Like he already has like one of the worst reputations in the league. Like
he really does.
Mitchell, yeah.
He spread COVID all over the mic.
He started COVID.
He put his COVID all over the table.
All over that table. And then, you're the main piece in one of the worst trades of all time. And then punching a teammate like that, like in game, like that shit happens in practice, obviously, like the Jordan Poole, Draymond thing. But like that's just demoralizing to your team. And then like the coach has to answer about it, and your other teammates are going to have to answer questions about it. And then like I was thinking about like another like in-game kind of back and forth to compare it to. And I was thinking about like the KD and Draymond thing, like when KD was on the Warriors, and Draymond like literally called KD a bitch and said that they didn't need him to win a championship. And that's like so much more personal and so much more hurtful than what Slow-Mo said. And like they didn't even throw hands.
No.
And so I just think like there's no way Rudy Gobert can be on the Timberwolves by this time next year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know how they cut him. I think this just displays how mentally weak Rudy Gobert is, honestly. I don't think in the game of sports, as far as I know, in any sport that a player has had to be sent home at halftime because he assaulted another teammate. I don't think that's ever. I mean, the dude literally got sent home at halftime. So, yeah, absolute world-class embarrassment. I've never been a Rudy Gobert fan. Wasted a lot of Donovan Mitchell's years in Utah. Overpaid, zero offensive bag. And like you said, he is a part of the worst trade in NBA history. The Jazz would take Walker Kessler straight across for Rudy Gobert as of right now. And not only they got Walker Kessler, they gave up 5 first-round draft picks, Jared Vanderbilt, who they turned into THT. So it's just, yeah, an all-time meltdown.
And no better place than
Rudy
Minnesota.
Gobert. Of course not. And poor Anthony Edwards, dude.
Yeah,
all the dude wants to do is win.
He balled out too. Like,
yeah.
God, Rudy Gobert is such a nightmare.
I agree. It's so bad.
McKinnon, McKinnon and Sauce, I was like thinking about you kind of mentioned like, you don't know where you're gonna move him, Sauce, but there's always like these terrible contracts like this, and we say they're never gonna get moved, and somebody always takes them. Okay.
There's always a way.
And who is a dumpster fire organization that just loves taking on contracts like this? It's the Washington Wizards, okay? They are not trying to win. All they want to do is just pay Bradley Beal as much money as possible. So I think you try to if you can try to get like Kuzma and Kispert out of this, and then you're
There's
gonna have
no
to give up.
way.
You're gonna have to give up like Jalen McDaniels. Probably you're gonna have to give up something valuable, which would suck. But
I think you have to give picks on top too, right? I mean, like,
they don't
who's
have any
taking
picks though. They don't have
I
any
know
picks.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like any team you're trading to Rudy Gobert, it was like the Russell Westbrook situation, right? Like, in order to offload this contract, you have to have some future investment. So yeah, if they get Jaden McDaniels or you get a first round pick, but I don't feel like anyone's going to trade anyone of value to the, like, I mean, the Lakers did get a pretty good deal for Westbrook, honestly. So maybe the Wizards do make that move. The Wizards love being mediocre. We know that. I mean, they literally finish at like that 8 or 9 spot every year. Like, they're never the worst team in the NBA, but it's like they're either fringe playoff or like 5 games back from the playoffs.
I thought they were
and
still the
it's-
Bullets, to be honest.
they were sick. They were sick when they had no chill Gill, and they were the
Oh
Bullets.
yeah, yeah.
But like, dude, they have had the John Wall contract. They've had the Russell Westbrook contract. Porzingis was kind of a bad contract when they took it. Bradley Beal, obviously.
Porzingis
awful.
isn't. He's been hooping a little
They had
bit,
the
but-
Otto Porter contract too. They had
Oh,
the
yeah.
Yes,
Otto
yeah,
Porter
yeah.
they
contract, too.
fucking
They
all
paid
they
Otto
just
Porter
give
a
us all
bag.
your
That's the
terrible contracts, and we will
Yeah.
take them.
And there's
Like,
no worse market in sports right now than Washington, D.C.
No,
That place is
no.
terrible.
Well, in DC, the city itself's a dumpster fire, dude. I mean, it's riddled with crime, and yeah, that place is a dumpster fire. And
slimy politicians.
you got the
Yeah.
R word, you get the R words there, and
Their first, yeah, true. Their first round draft pick got robbed like a week later after getting there, so that's not good. Or
Yeah.
the R words at least. That running
yeah,
back
you got shot.
get
Ryan
shot.
Robinson.
He got shot. You got shot in the leg.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
It's not a.
You think anyone
when they
in Philly is
say-
shooting someone on the Eagles? Hell no.
Oh no. And when they
Hell
say
no.
like, all media coverage is all press is good press, like one of your players getting shot is one of those rare scenarios where it's not good press. So
Just nothing good
that's
out of
not-
Washington.
nothing good out of Washington. Okay, so Minnesota's matched up against the Lakers tomorrow night. Rudy Gobert has been suspended.
Ooh.
I mean, we gotta assume LA's winning this game, right? I mean, the Lakers have been looking pretty spicy.
They have been so much better, right?
They really,
I mean,
yeah.
And
The additions they made, well, it's just the health. Like I want to say it's
Yeah.
the additions they made, but it's just they're healthy.
and they're playing a team that just had a gigantic issue last night.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
That's,
exactly.
Yeah.
2 days after the fact, now this team's have hopping on a plane.
yeah.
But do you know
now-
what? Maybe they're like, hell yeah, like we don't got to play. with Rudy
Finally, we don't have to play
Gobert.
with that guy anymore. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Like
Yeah,
that
I
might
don't-
flourish, and it's only one game, dude. That's the thing at the
Yeah,
playing.
true.
Like all it takes is Ant to go off for 40 or Rudy to it's not Rudy. Cat to have like a really big game. He goes like 7 for 14 from 3. It's hitting threes all over Anthony Davis's face, and just slow-mo goes for 40.
Did,
Something like
Shut the
that.
did the
fuck up.
the Timberwolves suspended him for a game, right? It wasn't like
Yeah,
a
so
league or
he-
anything.
No, the
Wait, this
Timberwolves
is-
did.
They suspended slow-mo too.
No.
Just
Gobert, right?
Rudy. Just Rudy.
Slow-mo.
No, slow-mo was innocent, bro.
Killing me with
Slow-mo was
slow-mo.
innocent. Do you know what
I love
slow-mo
it.
said to him?
He said like get a fucking get a rebound or
like,
something,
why don't
right?
you guys he's like, get down the paint and get rebounds and block shots. Because Rudy Gobert was like talking shit to the team. Like,
Fair
we gotta
enough.
play better. And Rudy was like, or slow-mo was just like, just go block shots and rebound.
Fair enough.
Which is like, yeah, dude, like, what else are
Keeping
you gonna
it
do?
real.
What else is he gonna
Dude.
do? He's not scoring.
I've seen the guy smoke wide open layups. Like, why? And you're like, why are we laying the ball up around the rim when you're 7-1? Wide
Isn't he
open
an
too.
all-star?
Just-
Yeah,
Um,
sheesh.
And the other thing, so Rudy Gobert not being there is a plus. The other thing, like I could see D'Angelo Russell just having like a terrible game for some reason.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't been in a big spot in a while like this. He was
And it's against his
bad
old
in
team.
the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his old team. I could see him like wanting to like make a point, trying to prove himself. Like I could totally see that. So
100%.
I kind of like the Timberwolves, I guess.
Has
Yeah,
Russell
and-
had or has D'Angelo had many good games with the Lakers?
Yeah, he's had a couple of 30 balls. I think he's averaging
Okay.
like 19 a game. So he's been
He's
playing
getting
pretty
his
solid.
his swagger back.
Yeah, and but we'll see what happens in the playoffs. The dude's the master at shooting bad shots down the stretch and turning the ball over. But at the same time, like when you have LeBron, it's like pretty much just going to be in LeBron's hands down the stretch.
Yeah, you just
so
got
yeah.
he's not.
you just
touching the
got to hit
ball.
open threes. That's all you
LeBron's
got.
just
Yeah.
gonna be like, okay, buddy, you're not touching the fucking ball the last
Look,
5
when-
Go
minutes.
stand there in the corner, and if you're open, you can hit the ice in your
Yeah,
veins.
when you're open, you better hit it.
Let's see if you really got ice.
When I get you
Um,
wide open.
I could also see D'Lo hitting like a game winner tomorrow night.
That would be kind of sick against his old team.
Yeah.
All right,
Um,
let's move on to the next topic. We'll go to our Dallas Mavericks insider. What's the scuttlebutt around Dallas, man? I mean, looks like Mark
Wemby.
Cuban was making the business decision there. Are you
Wemby.
liking this move or not liking this
No,
move?
I hate it. It's embarrassing. It's truly embarrassing, like just benching everybody. There's no investigation needed. It's just
Yeah.
cold cake. The proof is in the pudding. They benched all their good players and lost on purpose. Like it is what it is. It's pretty embarrassing for the organization or the coaching staff, whoever. But maybe we're feeling lucky this year. A little lottery action. We just got to get that number one ball.
Oh man, I mean, even like Scoot obviously would be a good addition to the Mav squad too. But I mean, yeah, landing one of those top
But
picks would be huge.
If like they win, like they're thinking, if we get Wemby, like it's over. This is the best team ever because they kind of need a big who can score.
Well, also just having that pick, like if they're not
Yeah.
top 10, they don't have that pick from
Yeah,
it's a top
exactly.
10 protected pick. The Knicks would have got it. So I'm sure Mark Cuban's also kind of thinking about it as a business, like in a team standpoint, where it's like, all right,
Yeah.
we're probably not making a legit run in the playoffs, and we want to have this pick so we can pick another guy to at least, because I mean, the goal now is like we just got to keep Luka around.
And like you said, like any of the top three guys would probably be an
Brandon
absolute
Miller
win
would be
for this team.
would be a fine fit in Dallas.
he would be a sick fit, actually.
I don't
But-
know about
Because they
8
need
for
like
41.
long guys. Yeah.
8 for
Dallas had
41.
it's a lot of shady stuff that happens down in Dallas. Better hope he doesn't get a gun down there, I guess.
Yeah, true.
They love to shoot guns down in Texas, man. I'm just saying. They love their
They're
guns.
respectful about
They
it.
do love their guns. They do love their
They're
guns.
respectful
But
about it down there.
But yeah, I don't know, McHugh. What do you think? I mean, is this? I mean, the thing is, like, it's hard not to make the play-in. I mean, I guess the West was pretty
right?
stacked, but like the Oklahoma City Thunder made it over you, man. I mean, you can't. No, you wonder why Luka's so upset.
The
You can't-
Pelicans. The
Yeah.
freaking Pelicans.
without Zion, not their best player.
Well, that's
Yeah.
another.
Dude, if you're it's kind of like if you're averaging 33 points a game and you can't make the playoffs, you're fucking like, how are you better? Like I'm this is obviously I don't believe this, but like fucking that's what Bradley Beal's doing on the Wizards, right? Like he's averaging
Yeah.
30 points a game, not making the play-in. Like this is just a really bad look for Luka individually, but then like it's hard to like blame the guy when like they made this trade that blew up the team chemistry, but then they kind of felt like they had to. But they've just like it's just been like organizational mismanagement, I guess. And then Luka has to make the playoffs next year. Otherwise, people are gonna say like, is he just one of those guys that just like puts up fucking numbers and that's it? But if you're like considered like universally a top 3 player in the world, like you have to at least be in the playoffs every year.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh,
They have
no
to be.
question.
Especially
No
with
question.
the play-in. So
Now the
Have to
Western
be.
Conference Finals last year, I think, does like it's gonna at least like save Luka a little bit for the next couple of years, I think. Now obviously not making the playoffs back-to-back years, that'll erase it. But as long as he makes the playoffs next year, his rep, I mean, he's so young, he's only 23, and I just think that yes, it is a big deal, but this can easily be something that's forgotten shortly if the Mavericks turn this thing around. And if they get Wemby, Kyrie's coming back, and then you got Kyrie, Luka, and Wembanyama. Like
Then go out and get some role players.
now
get some
then all
good
you're
role
doing
players.
is just plug in. Yeah, you're just plugging and playing from there. I mean, that's
If I got to see
if-
Reggie Bullock miss one more three,
I
I'll lose
know.
my shit.
it's like Reggie Bullock and Tim Hardaway Jr. in your starting lineup is just, especially when you have Kyrie and Luka. It's like you're not winning anything, dude. You're not
both
playing
of them,
any-
both of them
yeah.
weren't starters last year.
No,
We had,
and they
we
weren't
had
playing any
Finney, we had
defense.
Finney Smith and Brunson.
Yeah,
do you think they
Brunson
could have been
was-
500 with Finney Smith?
Oh yeah, I bet
I think it would have helped, but I think like just like another whatever like Dinwiddie and stuff like that. They just gave away all their good role guys and
Yeah,
thought
like
that the,
Dinwiddie was another scorer. Finney Smith was a good
Yeah.
3-and-D player. They gave away their essential role player.
Dinwiddie was he was always good down the stretch too. That's what they kind of needed.
100%. And
Yeah.
that's what worries me about Denver, or not Denver, excuse me, Phoenix a little bit, right? You have Booker or KD go down for a game or two, like that.
Yeah,
hurts. That hurts big time that
Yeah.
you don't have anyone off your bench, like. So,
Yep.
but let's move on. So let's talk about the Eastern Conference matchups. We kind of covered them on the last pod, but we'll cover them again a little bit. So we got Heat Hawks opening up in the first play-in game. Who are your picks? How do you see the game going, McKinnon? That's tomorrow. First game that's on.
I think the Heat beat him by 20.
I like it.
Personally, I'm just not a Hawks guy. I don't think I ever will be if they just keep this like same Trey Young and have like, is John Collins still around?
Yeah, of course.
I guess
Ex-
so.
Exactly. Like they need a big switch, and they can always take to the grave that they made the play in and all this and that. But at some point they got to start changing and get some better players around the Trey Young for sure. But yeah, Heat. I like the Heat in the playoffs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love them.
I think they can be
love the Heat in
scrappy.
the playoffs. They always can be. McHugh.
Yeah, obviously I'm taking Heat by 20, same as McKinnon. Like the Hawks are like on the same level as like the fucking Wizards this year as far as like dumpster fire organizations.
Yeah.
But like that's also like interesting. Like they lost. Did they get swept in the first round by the Heat last
Yeah,
year?
they
I
did.
think.
Yeah.
they
And
did.
so, you got to start moving some shit around next year. Like, you got to finally,
Exactly.
somebody's got to take that John Collins contract. And then, like, is Trey Young really your guy? Like, I think those conversations might start to happen. Like, was the Eastern Conference Finals trip a fluke? But then the
Yes.
Heat, that's a
Yes.
fucking shitty matchup
Yeah.
for the Celtics, Sauce. I'm assuming you're taking the Heat as well.
Well, yeah, so I probably will take the Heat. I just what they do in the playoffs, like I don't want to see them. It's one game. Trey Young goes for 39 tomorrow night, something like that, and stuff gets crazy. The Hawks could win that game. The Hawks are still a good basketball team, and when like the pieces are moving, like when their offense is rolling in the right direction, they're awesome. It's very unlikely and rare that their offense. I mean, they're a 500 record this year. It's not likely their offense moves in the right direction. But I mean, if it does, they can beat Miami. I'm obviously taking Miami here. Just the way the team is coached, Eric Spoelstra does a great job. To me, Butler's just a whole different beast. In that play-in. So yeah, I'm taking the Heat in that one. Also,
You
but
guys think the Hawks would benefit from like a veteran scorer? Someone who can,
I don't know what I
who
mean.
Trey Young
if
could
they
kind of be a 1B too.
Well, the problem is they have DeJounte. Like they traded like 4 first rounders for DeJounte Murray, man. And
Yeah.
and like had to lose the Kevin Huerter contract. So the adding the other piece thing for them is tough because John Collins has been on the trade market for the last 2-3 years, and no one wants anything to do with that contract.
Yeah,
and
true.
they've already traded for their guy. Like they already traded for DeJounte Murray, man. So yeah, I think it's just kind of tough with them, and we'll see what happens with the Hawks. Hopefully Quinn Snyder can put stuff together. Obviously didn't work out with him in Utah, but yeah, I don't know. The Hawks are in a really, really weird spot. Really weird. But let's move on to the next game. We have Raptors, Bulls. So just I guess out of those 3 teams, out of the Hawks, Raptors, and Bulls, who are we taking? McHugh.
Wait, out of the Hawks, Raptors? Oh, yeah, because then the Hawks will play. Okay.
The winner of that game.
I will take the Bulls to beat the Raptors, and then, yeah, I think they'll beat the Hawks too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just like, I don't know. I think the Bulls, like, they don't have a better record, but they're just like, I just am really low on the Hawks, I guess. I don't like Trey Young. I watched their offense, and yeah, when it's fucking moving, it's moving. But when it's bad, it's like, it's literally just like, okay, Trey Young chucks a 3 at half court, takes a 40 bomb or takes a 40-foot shot. Like I think,
yeah,
I'll take the Bulls. I'm not gonna overcomplicate it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as you, dude. The Bulls have been playing really well. I just trust DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine down the stretch a little bit more than I do Trey Young. It's the stuff on the defensive end for the Hawks that really worries me. Right. So when their offense is rolling, it's really good, but like their offense, that's why I say it doesn't happen a lot, because their offense has to be perfect for how bad they are on the defensive side of the floor. So I mean, their offense can roll for 8 games straight, but it needs to be perfect. Of those 8 games, you're only getting 2 perfect, so they're only squeaking out 2 or 3 wins in that week, right? So yeah, I agree. I don't think the Hawks have what it takes, not only defensively but also mentally too. I don't think they're in it. The Eastern Conference Finals was definitely a fluke. Played against a New York team with no bigs at all. Mitch Robinson being out. And then of course the Knicks just had like the classic 5 seed Knicks meltdown. And then they played against Philly, who had probably the biggest all-time meltdown in playoff history, being up 3-2 going, in Atlanta. Yeah, but I do think that was a fluke. They go to play against Milwaukee. Giannis is hurt like the whole series and they lose. So yeah, I think that's a big fluke. I'm not, you guys know from the past, I'm not a big Atlanta fan. So yeah, I'm taking the Bulls too. McKinnon?
For me, I think the Bulls kind of peaking at the right time in a way. Like they've had a better back half of the season.
Sure.
But gosh, I don't know. Like Bulls Raptors could be a coin flip.
Yeah.
Either way, I think the winner of that game beats the Hawks, kind of like you guys are saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Bulls. I think like they just had a better back half of the season. They're playing more inspired basketball, stuff like that. And I'm sad for
They've-
Lonzo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks. But yeah, I think Bulls, they've had like, I'm looking at their schedule. They had some solid wins. Since March, they beat Denver, Minnesota, Miami, Philly, lost close to Sacramento, blew out Memphis. They're like you said, McKinnon, they're peaking at the right time.
And they've always had good pieces, right? Like they just haven't been able to put it together for a whole season. But I think they'll at least win these 2 games.
Yeah. I can definitely see them winning. Okay, so we're just gonna go off of what we think then. We have Bucks Bulls to start off. I guess it'd be the first round of the NBA playoffs. Do we see the Bulls stealing one at all, or what do we think? McHugh.
I'm gonna say no. I think Giannis is
Yeah.
gonna go like. Do you remember when he just fucking went crazy against the Pistons like a few years ago and scored like 40 every game? I think it's gonna be like that. I think Giannis is just gonna run through them, sweep. Maybe they make it close in one game, but yeah, sweep Bucks. I mean,
Unless
Yeah, I
it
mean,
goes-
as long as
yeah.
they're not playing against Miami, I think they've got pretty much any of these teams in 4 games.
And like I don't know if Vucevic steps up for one game, I see him maybe could win one, but other than that, no way.
Yeah, no. All right, let's move on. Celtics Heat. It's gonna be a gritty series, man. McKinnon, what do we think?
Celtics Heat. I think the Heat could win 2 games, but I don't know. I think the Celtics just end up outclassing them
Yeah, I
in
mean
something
the
like
talent.
this.
Yeah, McHugh.
I think it goes 7. Honestly,
Wow.
I feel like these teams like
Ooh.
Celtics. I'm taking the Celtics to win, but I just like you said, it's gonna be gritty. Like these teams have history with each other. The Heat like aren't the best off. They're bad offensively, but like they show that they can play with the Celtics. Like it's been close when they've played this year, right? So
Yeah,
I think Celtics in 7.
yeah. I got Celtics in 4 or 5 games. Of
Oh
course,
my God, Sus.
little, but hey, I'm just saying though, like I understand, like I do fear the Heat in the playoffs, and I'll tell you right now, if it's 5 games, it'll be a hard fought 5 games, probably like less than 5-point win each game, hard fought. It's gonna feel like a 7-game series by the time we come out of it. But I don't know, man. The Heat are worse than they are last year. If you go and watch them, I understand Jimmy can play good, Tyler can have his games. Gabe Vincent's been playing worse. Max Strus is not playing near the level that he was. Bam's been pretty good. Jimmy can play really well. But we're just a better team. I mean, like not like we're a similar team as last year. Looks like Rob hopefully is going to be healthy throughout this series. And we added Malcolm Brogdon, right? So like we only got better and their team's gotten worse. Kyle Lowry is completely degraded as a basketball player. So I just it's going to be a hard fought 4 or 5 games, but I see it going as like Miami last year, where like I think we close games down the stretch really solid with the Jays. So I like Boston in like 5 games there. But all right,
Okay.
Sixers Nets, McKinnon.
I'm gonna take the Sixers in 5. I think the Nets kind of suck. I don't know. Like when Mikal Bridges has those like big games and they can win for sure, but other than that, they're just playing inspired basketball at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, I like that. Joel, I mean, Nick Claxton isn't stopping Joel Embiid, so
No way.
Yeah.
To you, McHugh.
I'm gonna say Sixers in 6. Like I think Mikal can go off for like 45 in a couple games, and maybe they squeak out like 2 games. But then I think the Sixers will blow them out in like the other 4 games probably.
Yeah.
So I'll do Sixers in 6.
I really, really like Brooklyn's depth. I really like it. The wing depth is huge against big guys. Like all the wings they can throw at this at this Philly team, right? They're able to, I wouldn't say switch on Joel, but it makes doubling a little bit easier with Joel when you have those long wings who can play. And the thing is, their wings can play defense, right? Cam Johnson's a stud. Obviously, they have Mikal Bridges. Joe Harris isn't necessarily a great wing defender, but obviously can shoot the lights out. They have Dorian Finney-Smith. They have Seth Curry. They have Spencer Dinwiddie. And Nick Claxton is somewhat of a confident big. So I have the Nets in this series
Ooh.
within
Wow.
like 6 or
Wow.
7 games, of course, pushing it. I see a Philly meltdown. Joel Embiid can have his 45 every night, but this playoff series is the James Harden playoff series for this squad, right? If James Harden goes and plays really, really well against Brooklyn, then yeah, we're having a different conversation. But I don't trust James Harden to stay healthy that long and play a great series. I agree we could have a couple Mikal 40 pieces. We could have a Dinwiddie 35. And then I also think we have those 2 games, say another couple of games. It's a James Harden 3 for 18 from the field. And then next thing you know, the series is up 3-1 and they're going back to Brooklyn. So I just think that this series can go any way. I think it would be absolutely hilarious for Joel Embiid to win MVP and be a first round out. If the Celtics if the Sixers are an early out, like say first round, or maybe even like the Celtics sweep them in that second round, or is it Joel Embiid trade rumor time?
Are you giving up on trust the process?
Well, is Joel giving up on it? That's the question.
Ooh.
Is Joel giving up? I'm not saying like
Saying
the
I
Sixers
want
want to
out?
trade him, but is Joel Embiid wanting out if they're maybe they do beat the Nets in 6 and they go play against Boston and they get swept, or they only win 1 game and get blown out the other 4? Like, do you think Joel Embiid's like, all right, I've given this team time. I just don't know if this is the place for me.
Yeah,
interesting.
I think so, because it's like, bro, I'm the fucking like goddamn MVP and runner up, and we can't get to the conference finals. Like, yeah, I could completely see that. I could also completely see the Nets winning this series. By the way,
Yeah.
could go 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Like, they have the James Harden thing is like really interesting because they, like you said, they have so many bodies they can throw at Harden. Like, they can throw Mikal at him, they can throw Cam at Dinwiddie, and they have like, they're kind of deeper on the wings than Philadelphia. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah,
Definitely,
yeah. Oh
definitely.
yeah, not even a question.
So then you like Harden is going to get fucking gassed. Like, he's going to be playing
Yeah.
like 48 minutes, and then like you have guys that you can sub in and just
Yeah.
It's
I
going
think
to be
definitely-
it's
he's
going to be a
definitely the
hard
X
fought.
factor.
It's going to be a hard fought series for Philly. It's not going to be
Harden's
easy.
the X factor for sure.
100%. This whole series, like this whole year, like
Yeah.
this playoff run. I'm telling you right now, it's also relies on Joel Embiid's health, right? If Joel's missing games, they're probably losing them. We saw that against Miami last year. But yeah, if Joel is healthy, Joel's going to give you 30 and 10 every single night with like 2 blocks every single night. Like, I've witnessed it in many playoff series. The problem is the pieces around him that don't, JJ Redick calls them the Alfreds, don't help him, because that's just how it is. The only shot he had was like we mentioned earlier. The best shot they had was when they had Jimmy Butler, and we saw how Philly handled that. They bring in James Harden. I mean, I think the next step is, if you want to keep Joel Embiid, you got to bring in Dame, right? James Harden's contract's up. He goes to Houston, and you
That would be
trade Maxey,
sweet.
another guy, for Dame Lillard. I think
That'd be
that
sweet.
those 2 together would be pretty fun.
Gosh, I'd love to see Dame leave.
I know, me too. He did just come out and say that he's not trying to stick around for a rebuild. So,
Yep.
I'm like, you're about 3 years late on that one, Dame. About 3
Yeah,
years
right.
late.
Now we don't want to do the rebuild. Okay,
Alrighty.
sounds good.
Come on. All right, let's any last comments on Joel and the Sixers and the Nets?
So yeah, I'm rooting for the Nets in this series.
Oh,
now,
yeah,
because
100%.
I want that would be sick, and then I want Dame and Joel to be on the same team.
I think that drama would be super funny as well.
Oh, dude. Yeah, it'd be priceless. All right, let's move on to the final game of the NBA first round playoffs. Cavs, Knicks. How do we see this series going? Do the Knicks give them a little bit of run for their money, or what do you guys see?
This is one of those things, like the Knicks, just all their fans get so excited, and then the Cavs just, take them out in 6 or something
Yep.
and just ruin it again. And they're going back to the drawing board. What can we do better? And just classic New York Knicks, baby. And the Cavs, I like the Cavs, man.
Oh, I love them.
They're
Love
young. They
the
play good
Cavs.
basketball. I like them.
They're really fucking good, dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I totally agree with you. How like the fans, it's gonna be like when they played Atlanta in the first round,
Yeah.
a few years ago, and the fans were so into it. But yeah, I think the Cavs are gonna fuck them. I think it's Cavs in 5. Like they got the number
Yeah.
one net rating in the league, right, Sauce?
Yes, sir.
Something like that. They're playing really good lately. Like I just think they just are they're potent offensively with Garland and Mitchell. Like either one of those guys can give you like 35, and then you have like Mobley and Allen
Mobley.
on defense too. And so they like who is like Julius Randle and Brunson can score a little bit, I
Yeah.
guess, but I just don't. I think the Knicks are gonna choke like they always do. I guess.
You know what would
So,
be what would be Knicks? They steal the first game, maybe even 2, and then just end up losing the series. And they
Oh,
they
yeah.
like go nuts in New York for a day,
that's
trash
exactly what's gonna
trash
happen.
the place, jump on the light poles, and then they end up losing the series.
Donovan Mitchell's for sure going for 40 in MSG, dude.
Oh,
I mean, this is a
100%.
team that didn't want to trade RJ Barrett for Donovan
For
Mitchell, right?
Donovan
So
Mitchell, like
the
what are we
problem is
talking about?
the problem with the Knicks too is like you have exactly it's Donovan Mitchell, and you have these like elite scorers that go in your building with a grudge. Like Donovan Mitchell's going for 40 in one of those first 2 games in MSG. I promise you, he's going to go nuclear. He's gonna be like, yeah, you guys could have had me, but you guys decided to keep RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett.
RJ fucking Barrett, dude.
Jesus.
It would be cool to see
Horrible.
the Knicks win, but like practically, I just think there's like no way. I think it's like probably 5, potentially a sweep, maybe 6.
Yeah. I always want to see Cavs Bucks. That is the series
That would
I am
be
like
yeah.
fiending
That'd be
for,
awesome.
dude. I think Cleveland matches up so well. And this is I was talking to Tim a little bit about this today, and that is totally a Evan Mobley prove yourself series, right? Let's see how good defensively Evan Mobley is going up against Giannis. Still think Giannis is going to get like his 30 a game because it's Giannis. But I don't know. I like the matchup. I can't wait for the Donovan Mitchell, Drew Holiday matchup. Darius Garland can have his games, and then their interior defense is awesome with Jared Allen and the Cavs. So, or Jared Allen and the Mobster. So,
The Mobster.
the Mobster, baby.
And as a
Mobster,
Celtics
dude.
fan, you like that because whoever wins that series is going to be tired.
See, that's what I mean. That's why I want
That's gonna be a
Cavs
tough
Bucks, man. I think it's going to
It's a
be
tough series.
gritty one. That's also why I'm hoping the Hawks beat the Heat, man. Like, not that I don't think we can beat the Heat, like I said, but I know it would just be coasting against the
Yeah, you're just
the
coasting
Hawks,
right
bro.
in.
Like, I don't want a bang up series. I mean, if the Celtics stretch ends up being the Heat, the Sixers, and the Bucks, by the time we get to the playoffs, we're gonna play like a fully fresh Suns team who's just rolled
Kings
everyone.
team.
And yeah,
What?
no, come
Light
on.
the beam.
Light
Yeah,
the
that's
beam.
right, McKinnon. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Anything else we want to cover on the Eastern Conference? I guess we can make a prediction on who's coming out of it. I think we've already kind of covered that, but as of right now, going into the playoffs, who do we have coming out of the East?
I'm sticking with the C's, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. When they're
Yeah.
playing their best basketball, man, they are the best team in the world. Like, it's not even
Fun
a
to watch
question.
too.
Yeah, they're gonna be dialed. And like the other thing is like I was really hot on the Bucks like a few weeks ago, but like, dude, the Celtics fuck them every time they play
Yeah.
the Bucks, and it's just like for some reason that's just how it's been going. And so I think it's obviously going to be Bucks Celtics in the conference finals, and then I think Boston comes out of that one in like 6 or 7.
Yeah, bar health, of course. Like, health is the biggest thing. But yeah, I'd love to see
Yeah.
those 2 teams in the Eastern Conference Finals fully healthy. The defensive stuff that they bring to the floor, and then of course it's Giannis and Tatum and JB and Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. So I just
Need
think our
Robert
wing
Williams
depth
for
is
that.
wing and guard depth, man. Who we can throw at these different teams. That's why I love us against Philly, man. Same reason I like Brooklyn against Philly.
Yep.
All the different defensive guard combos we can throw at James Harden and Tyrese Maxey, and like James Harden and Tyrese Maxey having to guard these guys who are like proven scorers. Like Derek White at this point is a proven scorer. There was a 2.5 week stretch where the dude was averaging 27 a game. So when our boys were hurt, so this guy's a
Sauce. If you're sorry to cut you off, if
No,
you're the
you're good.
coach of the Celtics, are you and like the Heat? Let's say they lose. You know you're going to coast. Are you sitting Robert Williams a little longer to really guarantee the health?
Well, I mean, you definitely want to play him those like first couple of games and get him like rolling a little bit. Oh yeah, I mean, if we're playing against the Hawks, we go and get game 1, hopefully get game 2, And if we're up 2-0, Rob Williams immediately goes on minutes restrictions. I think.
Because you're gonna need him for some of the Sixers or the
he's
Bucks, stuff like that.
It's annoying, man. Bucks were complaining like, oh, we're missing our third best player. It's like, dude, shut up. We're
Whatever.
missing our third best player too. Like, I don't want to hear the complaints. Rob Williams only played 35 games this year. We finished the second seed. He is our third best player. It's no question. What the impact he has for us on the defensive side of the ball is crazy.
Yeah.
So he was an all defensive guy last year, right? You don't just get. It's a hard award to win as a big guy. So
his impact is definitely felt.
100%. All right. Anything else on the Eastern Conference you want to cover, McHugh? Anything?
Oh, we got it. We're all in
Heck yeah.
agreement on pretty much everything.
Hell yeah. All right. Let's move on to our brokest moments of the week. Here we go. All right, McHugh, start us off. Give us your brokest moment this week.
So this one, just starting out the week with a lot of broke topics, but for me, it's got to be Colorado football posting a highlight. You got 4-star Shooter Sanders throwing a touchdown to 5-star Travis Hunter in practice. First of all, it's like practice highlights. It wasn't even like cool. It wasn't even like a fucking spring game or something. And then also the guy who they threw the touchdown over was literally like a 5'9" white dude, definitely a walk-on. He looks like the kid who they like blamed all of their illegal gifts for when they got agents in Blue Mountain State. Like that kid. There's no way that this kid is like an actual football player. And they're like Deion's telling them to post it. Like, it. He's just trying to get the content out there. He's like, look at these guys that we have. Extremely broke move by Colorado football.
I mean, come on. Like,
yeah.
One white cornerback in the NFL since 2000.
That corner is like the only guy who stuck around when Deion walked in the room and was like, hey, I'm bringing in my guys, so get out.
100%. He's like, I'm staying.
He's like, no, coach, I'm staying.
I'll show you, coach.
I bet he works hard. I bet he works hard, though.
Oh, yeah.
Big heart.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah. Shout out to that guy. He
got passion.
Got cooked by a 5-star receiver. Come on.
5-star corner and receiver.
Yeah. Jeez Louise. All right. So McKinnon, brokest moment.
I switched up a little bit, but I stuck with the Masters, and the PGA has their second best player. Well, maybe their best player, and then their fifth best player missed the cut. Justin Thomas shoots 42 on the back nine. Rory McIlroy for the fifth time misses the cut at the Masters. Like, dude, come on. Like, we're bashing live guys for nothing. Then when Brooks and Phil number 2, Patrick Reed's number 4, DJ made the cut, Cam Smith made the cut, and these guys are always voicing like Rory and Justin Thomas, like, oh, those guys can't play in these big tournaments, they're not good enough, and like they're the global rankings and stuff like that. But
yeah, not only do you missed a cut, you didn't even make it to you didn't even make it to Saturday. Like, ugh.
Tiger made the cut. He has one leg.
Yes, and he did it shooting 3 over.
Yeah.
Like
cut
3
was
over.
like what, +4 or something? You couldn't make that. Like, come on, just embarrassing for the PGA.
100%. And then I'll move on to mine. In a recent podcast with Kevin Garnett, DeMarcus Cousins said he would be the third best center in today's NBA. Tough to say that when you're not actually playing.
And when you haven't played like 30 games in a season, like ever.
Yeah.
And when your fucking knee explodes every time you
or your Achilles or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like maybe in your prime, which a lot of people can make that statement with really like the top 2 centers being Jokic and Embiid, but to say that now, like, I don't know. I just think that's a tough thing to say when like you're not actually in the NBA.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on that DeMarcus Cousins versus Brittany Griner 1v1.
Oh, I mean, I'm still betting everything I own on DeMarcus Cousins. Like, what?
If they played to 100, it might be 100-0.
What about the Merchant of Death versus Boogie?
I don't know. Oh my gosh. Maybe that's the worst trade in the history of sports.
Oh, 100%.
It might be worse than Rudy Gobert. Dude.
Well, I don't know.
5 first-round picks.
Yeah,
we need a Danny Ainge negotiating that trade, dude. I mean, come on, they got to know. Like, we got to ring up Danny to come negotiate
Yeah.
Griner getting back here.
Danny Ainge
Another-
wouldn't have let the Merchant of Death come back, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
Another bad
chance.
WNBA trade is when Darren Waller gets married to Kelsey Plum or
Oh.
whatever, and then gets traded over like 2 weeks later.
Immediately.
And she plays in Las Vegas.
Yeah, she's their like
man.
best player, dude.
Yeah, and
And
I bet she requested a trade, and they're like, "What?
yeah, they're
You
like,
think we're
what
letting
in
you
the
go?
world?
Are you
No
crazy?"
chance. Darren Waller gone. So I guess the Raiders are just bringing every Patriot player possible into their squad.
Josh
Amendola is the
McDaniels.
wide receiver coach now, which is like okay. And then who they picked up? Who's their quarter? They picked up a quarterback coach? The old Hoyer, Brian Hoyer played in.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian Hoyer, another
He's a
Patriots
coach
guy
now?
he's their quarterback coach.
Yeah, they're gonna do the Patriot way over there.
Yeah, and do you know what? A pretty significant Patriot player just bought ownership in the Las Vegas WNBA team. What was his name? You remember? Oh, Tom Brady. Tom Brady is now a part owner of the women's Vegas
Wow.
basketball team. So McDaniels, they got Jimmy G in there. You don't see Brady maybe step into that facility every once in a while to hang out with his boys.
You know, McDaniel's like, all right, guys, we're gonna do the Patriot way, but like I'm the cool teacher, like I'm the cool
Yeah.
guy. Like we keep it
Yeah.
relaxed around here.
Yeah, we keep it relaxed when we go 4-11 or 4-13. Can't wait.
Jimmy G.
And oh my gosh, the poor Raiders though, man. Like the Raiders are just wishing they were in the AFC South right now.
Oh,
Just
that'd be.
wishing it. They're like, oh, we got to go against Mahomes. Russell. I mean, and I know the Broncos suck last year, but
They have to go against the Chargers. And
yeah, the team that's win the Super Bowl next year, 22-1. You know,
I hope they take a quarterback, dude.
gotta. Yeah, you would really think that if like Levis or someone falls to them, like you kind of got it, which kind of sucks though, is they're putting Jimmy G in a weird spot. And we'll be covering more of the NFL draft, obviously, as we get closer. Probably not next week, but the week after, we'll have to have maybe a 2-podcast week with NBA and NFL. Yeah. So, anything else on the brokest moments that we want to cover, boys, or what we just talked about?
good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Boogie
Let's move
just
on.
needs to shut his fucking mouth. Yeah.
True.
Yes. Let's move on. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a higher anticipated first round because a lot of these series can go either way. We'll start with the play-ins. Lakers, Timberwolves. Who do we have winning that first one? That's the second game tomorrow night.
Lake Show, all about LeBron, the king.
All day.
All about the
I
king.
agree.
Okay.
It's in LA.
This might be his only win in the playoffs this year. So this is the King's moment for sure.
Yeah. I agree, man. I think for sure that the Lakers are winning this game. Especially after what we just covered, the Minnesota meltdown, dude. You can't be feeling really great about it. Like not only Rudy Gobert out, but your best defender on the team, arguably, with Jaden McDaniels out for the rest of the season because he punched something and broke his hand. So I mean, bro, brutal. And that's a hard one. That's a hard one to recover from. And having to head to LA 2 days later, that's a tough one, man.
Speaking of recovering, the Lakers, LeBron's a superhuman, and he said the doctor said he's never seen anyone recover faster on that foot injury in the world.
Yeah, he said he had to find the LeBron of feet.
So classic LeBron just shouting himself out like, oh, I'm a superhuman. I recover faster than everyone else.
Yeah. And I had to find the LeBron of feet, like saying like he had to find the best foot person around.
It's he went all the way to like Europe or whatever.
Yeah. He's
I'm the second best foot doctor in the world. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Second best.
Maybe third. I don't know.
The Jordan of foot doctors.
Jordan would have got the first.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm gonna take the T-Wolves here.
I like it.
Hot take. I think Ant is just like, all right, fuck all this bullshit that's going on with Gobert. Karl Anthony Towns is a bitch. We got people fighting. Jaden McDaniels. All this bullshit is surrounding them. He's just gonna fucking go out there and get like a 50 piece or something. And then Cat is gonna play well. And Gobert is out of there, not thinking about him. I think like it's good. Yeah, it sucks that they don't have McDaniels to guard like LeBron, but I could see Anthony Edwards going crazy in this game. And then also I think D'Angelo Russell could like blow this game for them. I think he's going to be like really aggressive early on, and then they get down by like 13 or 14 in the first quarter, and then it just gets hard to come back down the stretch. So Yeah, I'm gonna take the T-Wolves here. A little bit of a hot
It's
take.
only one game, man. It's only one
Yeah,
game. Anything
only
can
one
happen in
game.
those one game series in the NBA. So we did take majority on the Lakers, so we are going to talk about Lakers Grizzlies moving on to that next round. But I do like to take the Timberwolves for Q. It's one game. They got a guy who's a borderline A-level player with Anthony Edwards, so we do like to see that. Okay, out of the three teams, Timberwolves, Pelicans, and Thunder, what are we thinking? That's not looking like Zion's coming back.
Of course.
McHugh.
I don't even know.
I'm taking the Wolves, dude. I mean, I
I
kind of want to take Thunder are fun, right? But they don't even have like
Yeah.
a fucking center,
No.
right? So yeah, I think T-Wolves are obvious here. Pelicans would be cool. Brandon Ingram, great player, CJ McCollum, but like, dude, also this is the second playoffs in a row where Zion hasn't been around. Like, they got to be thinking about that a little bit. I mean, that's got to be on your mind. But yeah, T-Wolves probably.
McKinnon?
I'm gonna go with the Pelicans.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, I don't know why they're 7-3 in the last 10 games. I think CJ could be crazy at any time, and like Brandon Ingram and all that. So
Yeah. BI's playing is I'm gonna take the Timberwolves on this one. But BI has been playing his best basketball over the last 3 weeks. And like we kind of talked about with the Bulls, those last like month to 3 weeks, that's when you need to be playing like your best basketball, right? And the Pelicans really have been. So if they can get to that second round or that first round of the playoffs without Zion, and just hoping for him to come back, then that'd be huge. But I am gonna take the Timberwolves on this one. I like Ant. Rudy comes back, they get their stuff figured out, and I think they have a close, hard-fought game against the Pelicans. And I like the Thunder too, but yeah, without the center, Pete, like without having a center, and I don't know. I mean, the Thunder they're a fun story, but who knows?
Great season by the Thunder, like
100%.
completely overachieved. But yeah, so we're going. So
Totally.
then that leaves us with
Nuggets,
Timberwolves
Thunder.
or Nuggets Thunder. Wait,
Oh, sorry. No, oh my goodness. Sorry. Nuggets Timberwolves is who we're gonna have in that first round.
Okay.
This is who I would assume the Nuggets do not want the Lakers. I can tell you that right now.
yes, I
The
agree.
Nuggets
I
do
agree.
not want the Lakers. That would be it's a really terrible first round matchup for whoever it is. It's tough to get the 2 seed and have to match up against the Lakers, but we'll just assume the Nuggets are starting off the Timberwolves. How we feeling about that series? Fuck it. I'll start it off. I got the Nuggets in like 4 or 5 games. I like Ant. Ant's really good, but Nikola Jokic is just absolutely dominating this game. They're really good at home, and if the Nuggets start up 2-0, we saw a last game of the regular season meltdown. I don't know what it's looking like when especially when they're back in Minnesota and say they're down 12 points in that second quarter. And they're down 0-2. I can just see that going south really quick. So yeah, I got Denver in like 5 games.
I'm gonna be confident. I'm gonna say 4.
Yeah,
Just go
I like
straight up
that.
4. They already had a meltdown when Jokic drops 40 on Gobert's face. Like,
Yeah,
they're gonna go back and he's actually gonna get punched in the face. He's actually gonna
100%.
start punching someone.
100%. Yeah, I like that. McHugh?
Yeah, maybe Rudy Gobert like takes a shot at Jokic and the Jokic brothers just come out of the stands and jump him. Like, that would be pretty fun.
That would be exciting.
But yeah, Nuggets in 4. Like, there's just T-Wolves are not winning the game here.
Malice
Sorry.
at the Palace style.
Like is that if they play against the
Love
Lakers,
it,
they could
love
lose
it.
that series. So they are really banking on not having to play against LA, which moves us on to our second round matchup. McHugh, Grizzlies, Lakers. Obviously the old Shannon Sharp debacle and probably the biggest shit talking team in the NBA. Who do we have in this series?
Uncle Shan.
I think the series completely hinges on is Shannon Sharp going to be in attendance at the home games for the Lakers?
Fuck,
Because they're
he's
going
to be.
undefeated at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna be out there in the cardigan repping. I think this goes 6 or 7 probably. Like, I could see the Lakers putting up a big fight against them. The Grizzlies, like, they got Ja who can score, Triple J. They're not gonna have Steven Adams done for the year, right?
Yeah, he's not playing at least in the first round.
Yeah, so I think Anthony Davis is gonna like eat in a couple of games, but I'll go Grizzlies in 7. 7.
Yeah, if the series goes 7, man, game 7s are a coin flip. I'm going to take LeBron and AD. I don't think the Grizzlies have anyone to truly match up against Anthony Davis. I know they have Triple J, but Triple J literally fouls out of every single game he plays in, not having really any backup big to guard Anthony Davis. I can see Anthony Davis just eating against this team. I have the Lakers in I hate them, and this totally could go Memphis in 6. If it goes 7, I have the Lakers. If it goes 6, if it's 6 and it's 3, or if I guess 3-2 in the Lakers' favor, I also go LA. So if they're going back home up 3-2, I just don't see Braun losing in LA. So.
If I am a club owner in Memphis, I'm putting not a permanent ban, a a temporary ban on all Grizzly players from going to the club at night.
Pam from Chili's.
Yes, we are banning them for at least a couple weeks so they can lock in and play some basketball.
Yeah,
And
they do not
if that
need to
doesn't
see the club.
Yep, if we don't see Ja Morant in the club, then they might win this series. But other than that, I don't know.
There's a lot of fun nightclubs in LA, though. That's a good point, actually.
Well, yeah, maybe the LA people, hey Ja, we got this
Free
sick back
bottle
room.
service. Free bottle service.
We haven't taken a first round upset yet, I don't think. So actually, I think I'm gonna flip my pick and join Sauce, and
I'm gonna go Lakers as well.
Yeah.
If they're healthy, man, there's not a lot of teams in the West that could beat them, because then obviously their next matchup is going to be against the Nuggets, and the Lakers are healthy. I'm probably taking the Lakers, or no, I guess it wouldn't be against the Nuggets. Excuse me. It's going to be against that Kings Warriors matchup. But
Light the beam.
I'm taking the Lakers a lot against a lot of those squads. But yeah, if they're healthy, man, the Lakers are not going to be a fun team to mess around with.
Totally.
Let's move on to the next one. We got Kings Clippers as the 3-5, or excuse me, Kings Warriors as the 3-6. McKinnon, I know you've been a big light the beam guy.
I know I've said light the beam probably 4 or 5 times this podcast, but hell no.
No
Warriors in 6.
Yeah.
Warriors in 6. I think the Kings can steal a few. Maybe even 7. I don't know. But just the Warriors, man. They playing their best basketball of the year right now. And
don't have their second best player.
Exactly.
And he'll be back for the playoffs.
Once they get healthy, you know how they do in the playoffs. So scary team.
Yeah, I see this team. I see them maybe dropping game 1 as an Andrew Wiggins warm-up game. But I mean, I could see them stealing the first 2, and if that happens, I mean, when you go up 2-0 and you're going back home, I don't know what the percentages are, but the series has got to be close to over. And I saw what Steph did to us last year in the finals, and I saw what this Warriors team is capable of. Gary Payton Jr. is back on the squad doing his same shit that he was doing, last year in the playoffs. So I really like the Warriors over the Kings in this one. And it's just the playoff experience too. Kings are a fun story. I don't know if I'm going to trust Steph over anyone else.
This is a fucking tough one, man.
Yeah, as he's got Sabonis as his background.
So I think literally how this is gonna go is Kings are gonna win 2 at home, Warriors are gonna win 2 in Golden State, and I think it's just they're each gonna trade games in their home stadiums. They have arguably 2 of the best home court advantages in the entire league, probably. So I think it's going to be game 7 in Sacramento, and they are going to be fucking wild out there in the Bay, or in the fucking in Sacktown, whatever the fuck. But yeah. I'm going to go Sacramento in 7 here. Wiggins, wow. I just don't know what's his mindset like. He's got some family stuff going on, how locked in is he going to be? But then also it's I'm not saying this is for sure gonna happen, obviously, but the Warriors are just how it's so hard to bet against them when they just fucking end up in the finals every year. But I think I'm gonna go Kings in 7.
Wow.
Light the beam.
I like it. I mean, I like it. I'm not saying definitely not possible. It's definitely not possible, but and that's if the Lakers beat the Grizzlies, of course they're winning that. They don't want anything to do with Golden State in that second round. If the Lakers end up playing against the Grizzlies and the Kings, and they're healthy, don't be surprised if we see them in the Western Conference Finals. So
that would be sick.
Moving on to that next round, McHugh, you can start us off. Suns Clippers. Paul George isn't gonna look at the earliest game 3, but it's definitely looking like he's probably not going to be I wouldn't. He's not gonna be playing in Phoenix. He might travel, but he's not gonna be playing.
Yeah, and then when he comes back, it's like, okay, he's probably only like 75% or so.
Yeah.
So, like, how fucking crazy would it be if the Clippers pulled this off somehow?
I
But
know.
I'm gonna go Suns in 5. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Suns in 5. Yeah.
I kind of like it would be super cool if the Clippers won it, but like I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I
Just
don't.
don't see it happening.
I
I
agree,
agree
man. I don't see it
5 or
happening
6
either.
maybe.
Yeah, they might still 1 or 2. Kawhi's good enough to give them at least 1, maybe 2
Yeah.
games. And it's gonna be a hard fought series, right? With all the wing depth they have, they can, if Paul George can come back and is playing his best ball, which is not very likely, this team is definitely going to compete. With all the wings they have, they match up really well. I mean, if you look at their team, it's built really well, right? They have Russell Westbrook and Bones Highland, right? Like 2 electric guards. Russell Westbrook, obviously on the offensive end a little bit, can be shaky at times. But it seems like he's found his new home in Los Angeles. They obviously have the great wings with Kawhi and Norman Powell and Rocco. And then they got their bigs with the Plumlee brother and they obviously got Ivan Zubac. So I like their depth, but they're just missing that second scorer in Paul George. Yeah, but I agree. It's 5 or 6 games as long as the Suns stay healthy. And I mean, they're my pick to come out of the West if they're healthy. And I think that's just who I have. I have them coming out of the West. So
Haiti and Booker playing like 48 minutes a game the
yeah,
entire playoffs,
of
probably.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And they might come out pretty, I don't know how healthy Katie's going to be after a long playoff series like that. I mean, we saw him against Milwaukee, of course, playing his best ball, but he was still like limping out of that series. So we'll see. But I don't know, man. I just like that guard tando or I guess like their forward tando of Booker and that 5 is crazy, bro. That starting 5 is crazy with CP and DA. So I like the Suns in 4 or 5 games. It could go 6. And they definitely use, even going to 7, you got to feel pretty good having Booker and KD. So who are your picks out of the West, you guys? I have Suns Celtics in my finals.
I have the exact same finals as last year. Go Warriors.
Nice. Celtics
Wow.
Warriors. I like it.
I'm gonna go Light the Beam versus Celtics.
Wow. Kings coming
Light
out
it
of
up.
I like
Light-
it, man. I mean, I like it. If they
The
can get
beam
past,
is
if they
on
can get
fucking
past
fire.
Golden State and maybe they get matched up with Memphis and that's, never, and then maybe get matched up against the Nuggets. So it's all about that. It's all about that draw, man. And the Kings they're the best net offensive team in the NBA. Sabonis has been playing Sabonis was an all-star and playing like an all-star. De'Aaron Fox is probably going to be an all-NBA guy. I would assume he's going to
For
be at least
sure.
all-NBA
Yeah.
second time.
Has to be.
All-NBA second team.
Yeah, Sabonis
So, yeah,
is going to be all NBA third team. Like Sabonis is probably going to be like 5th on like a lot of MVP ballots too.
Yeah.
I mean, like I like their chances, man. And it would be awesome to see them like redeem all of their playoff failures in the past. That would be sick. So
I would absolutely love to see Phoenix or the Sacramento Kings in the finals. Oh,
That'd be so cool.
That would be a dream come true. That'd be a dream come true. That is the team I think we match up really, really well against. They have no wings that can guard.
Yeah,
us.
it would be Celtics in like 4 or 5.
Dude,
Yeah.
they have no wings that can guard our wings. We have every guard tandem to throw at them. And Sabonis just like isn't going to be an issue against Al Horford and Rob Williams. So I feel really good about that if that's the case. But other than that, anything else you want to cover in the West, boys? We got our first games tomorrow night, so it should be pretty good.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get it going.
Yeah.
Playoff basketball. Let's go.
Playoff basketball is upon us.
Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Well, I think that's going to be a wrap, boys. Thanks for tuning in to Just Saucin. This is pre-playoff coverage. We'll be coming to you again probably early next week. And then the week after, we'll be covering a little bit of the NFL draft too. So we got a lot of sports ahead of us, boys. But thanks for joining me on such short notice.
Hey, thanks for having me again.
Always
a pleasure.
Sauce.
Always a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, this was Just Sauce, and I'm your host, Jack Burns. Joining me today was McKinnon and McHugh, and we'll be back next week. Like and subscribe. Have a good one.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
And comment.